Hello and welcome to Coaster Strike. My name is Tom and this is my review of Planet Coaster Console Edition. Now this is a game I've been playing for a few months now. If you've watched any videos on the channel, you'll likely have a good idea of what it is, how it works, and you might even have the game yourself. Or you may be deciding whether you want to get it for yourself. So hopefully this should help you decide and show you all the reasons why you should or shouldn't buy the game. I won't reveal until the end of the video though. Just a quick bit of fair warning, the clip that you're seeing at the moment is the trailer for the Studio DLC, which hasn't released yet, but could sometime in the future. But not much that you're seeing at the moment is in the game yet. This is all just upcoming features, which brings me to my first point about the game. It's always updating and improving and changing, always pretty much for the better. And I guess that's what Console Edition is. It's an improvement of the PC edition, or at least in the minds of the console players. There are lots of things that are better than the original game. There are also some which aren't quite as good, but I'll try and cover all of them today. And yeah, it's definitely a great game, and the changes that they've made are clear, but they're great for the console. I wouldn't say any of them would be better if they hadn't made them. I think they were all smart decisions by Frontier, the creators of Planet Coaster, and yeah, I think they've done a really, really good job porting the game from the PC to the console, and hopefully you'll agree with me too. So what you're seeing on screen now is a POV, or point of view ride, on Wavebreaker, a roller coaster that I built in the game. I built this fairly early on in my playing experience, pretty new to the game when I got it. When I built it, and it's just a simple GCI wooden coaster. It's pretty tall, but what you can see here is the quality of the graphics. So you can see all around you, you've got this really nice backdrop, all the clouds and mountains and terrain and scenery and paths are really high quality. And then you can also see that the physics on the coaster look incredibly realistic. If you have ever seen a wooden coaster in real life, you'll know this is just ridiculous. This is how they move and what they look like. And it looks like real life, which is just a really great thing. If you haven't ever played the original game or seen any YouTube videos, this is what the quality of the game is like. It's really incredible. So, obviously, it's called Planet Coaster. It's for building roller coasters. You can also build theme parks, which I guess is more the main feature of the game, but its title really shows that it's a, roller coaster game, which it isn't just, but it's also really good at. The coaster builder is super intuitive and easy to learn. It makes sense, and you can build some really great custom layouts with it, as well as using the pre-made blueprint coasters that they have inside the game, or the ones that you can download on the Frontier Workshop. So now I should explain that. The Frontier Workshop is basically this little bit of the game where you can save everything that you build and create: parks, roller coasters, building blueprints, which I'll get into a bit more later, and then you can upload them to an online sort of website type thing. You can do it all from your console, from the comfort of your own sofa, and you can upload any park that you want to the workshop, which people can then favourite, download, and explore for themselves, which is one of the reasons that this game is so great, particularly on the PC, is the community that the game has got. Like, if you know anyone who's ever played Planet Coaster, you'll know that they have this amazing community amongst players of the games. The YouTube community, everything like that is just incredible. So, as I said earlier, the building in this game is unlike any other game before. So, as you can see here, you've got this great pile of rocks with this animatronic spider. You've got that sort of scarecrow-y thing, and the dead trees, and this cool dark ride with all these special effects around the track. Now, the building in this game is done unlike any other theme park simulation game. It's really simple to use, but it's still so complex that you can build these incredible things. The things that some people build are just ridiculous. I saw one on the Steam Workshop which was a Hogwarts castle, which is like life-size recreation, so much detail, which just shows what you can do. Because basically the great thing about building in this game is there are no limits. You can build anywhere you want at any angle. You've got this 3D gizmo thing which allows you to move in all 3 dimensions and rotate it in all the dimensions, and you can place it and you can rotate it, and I mean there's not much more to do, but that is great. The diversity of scenery pieces is just great. There are so many different building materials and sizes and shapes. You've got the primitive pieces if you want to build your own custom stuff, or you've got the what are they called, the like billboards, where you can add your own images if you're on the PC edition. But on console edition, this is one slight downfall: you can't add custom images, unfortunately. I don't know what you would do to do that, but it is a bit of a shame. And you also, there are a few in the game which you can add, but they're all very Planet Coaster based, and you can't do much with them. Like, they're more for like using them as actual billboards than anything. But other than that, the building in this game is just pretty much limitless. So then on this ride, it's another one I built, and you can see around it you've got this sort of foresty area with all these trees, which just look incredible. The leaves and branches and trunks are all so detailed that it could very well be real life. And you've got the terrain, which just looks incredible. There's so much you can do with it. You can shape it, you can move it, you can flatten it, you can add water, you can paint the terrain. It's really just a limitless game, which is just fantastic, because that's what you're really looking for in a sandbox game or a creative game, is to just be limited by your imagination. Because really, if you've got an idea in this game that you want to build, you can build it. If you want to build an incredible massive castle that takes up the entire park map, you can build it. If you want to build like the tiniest details all around your park, if you want to have a gift shop at the end of your ride with little water bottles or custom photos, you can do that. And as you may have just seen there, when guests stick when guests stick their hands up in front of the ride, it does sort of take away from the realism, because the guests are another thing in the game which don't look amazing. They're quite low quality graphics, which is fine because they've got their own AI, each of them, and it just makes them feel like actual real people exploring your park. And when you have got quite a lot of them, it can take down on processing power, which is a bit of a shame, but you know. So, and then, I don't want to be a negative Nancy or anything, but another thing that's not so great in the game is the paths. They're a bit tricky to get. They're better than older games where you just had this sort of grid base, because you've now got these actual paths. You can change the width, the length, the angle, everything like that. They're just a little bit tricky to get the hang of and can be quite tricky to maneuver, but it really isn't that big of an issue when you play the game for long enough and get used to them. And then my final negative comment on the game. This is, 3 things in this entire review. So the final thing is the Oswald Eugene counter, which is an unfortunate addition they made very late, a few hours, I believe, before release, in fact. They announced that they were going to have a limit on the amount of building pieces that you can have in the park, which is a real shame, because obviously we want to build like a massive detail parks, which do take up quite a lot of processing power. Because, as I just said, the reason that they did this is because it is quite a difficult game to run. It's lots of detail, and it takes up quite a lot of power on your computer or Xbox or PlayStation, which was a problem in the PC edition, because lots of people with monster PCs that could run anything would build these massive parks, and then when other people tried to download them on their Frontier Workshop, it would just melt their computers, and then people complained, and so they didn't want anything to happen like that again, which is why they've got this limit. It's a bit of a shame, and it can be quite tricky to get it right, building the right number of coasters. I've actually made a video on how to get the perfect ratio of coasters to scenery, to shops, to other rides, stuff like that, which I'll link in the top right in a card if you want to watch that. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame. It's a sad addition to the game. In the current, I guess they're now current gen consoles, but next gen consoles like Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, you have got you're less limited, so you can add more, which allows you to have almost 10 coasters. It's not quite that many, but around that, whereas in the lower gen consoles, I don't know what they're called, but you can only have 7 coasters before you sort of run out of space. But I mean, yeah, other than those 3 features, the guest faces, the paths, and the Oswald limit, it's the perfect theme park simulator, and I do really think it's worth the price. £40 is pretty average for an Xbox or PlayStation game, and I would totally recommend buying it. If you're thinking about it, get it now. Don't worry about it. It's a definitely worthy purchase. It does take some time and commitment to get good at the game and to learn to use the controls in an efficient way, but the more you play, the better your parks will be. And I wouldn't be here on YouTube if it wasn't for Planet Coaster Console Edition. So definitely get the game and have fun playing and building your own theme parks and riding the roller coasters and everything like that, because it's a truly amazing game. I can't do testament to how amazing it is in words, but yeah, I hope that you've enjoyed and you found this helpful, and I'll see you all next time.